Good evening, Gabby.
Good evening, TC, and welcome all to Terry Curran's football podcast. TC, the 200th one that we've done, 199, but it is the 200th one. Of course, the first one that you done was with Chris, and we were talking about, I think, Phil Foden not playing for the under-21s in England, and 200 shows later, we're still going to be talking about Phil Foden not playing for England, but in the full team, not the under-21s. And we're going to start off with England. But as always, steady away. Before we get into the podcast, what's your magic moment, sir, this week?
Well, I've not picked one out, Gabby, and the reason why I've not picked one out is because I was going to talk about this Thomas Tuchel.
Yep.
And with not being a what they call it week, National Week, I was going to leave it anyway.
Yep.
But so I'll leave that to you this week with your magic moment.
Okay, well, I've picked out a few too, and I picked out one from the league action. Of course, we haven't had the Premier League, which is back the weekend, and the Championship, and a few games in League One have been called off. Notably, Birmingham City didn't play, but Rotherham played, and they played against Peterborough, and there was a fella on loan from Wednesday, Malik Wilks. What a goal he scored for Rotherham. I don't know if you've seen it. I posted it on the group.
It was a great goal.
Yeah.
But you look at the Cooper and Peterborough.
Yep.
And near top, and Rotherham and near bottom. Yet Rotherham what favourites.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you see it, Rotherham have beaten them 2-0 and obviously I think Peterborough got one back. But yet, like you said, it was a fantastic goal. But there are a lot of those games off in Birmingham's league in that Championship one, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, yeah.
You know, and
yeah,
I mean, I went to watch Jock play up at Dronfield on Saturday for Chris Turner and Roger Wilde. So I didn't really take much notice of it. I looked at the highlights on YouTube with certain games and certain international. I looked at the internationals. I mean, even that, they're making it even more weaker and poorer now, the international games.
Yeah. You've always
by adding these extra games in.
Yeah, you've always maintained this, and the tournaments will be weaker because more teams, more games don't make more quality. They weaken it, and they almost want to involve every club side, in the top two divisions, or certainly the top division of England, of Italy, of France, and then involve nations and also clubs from nations further away, like America, like Brazil, like Argentina, with the Club World Cup. They seem to want to get all these games and still play domestic football as well. We are going to be talking a little bit about that later in the podcast. But my first three magic moments were Jack Grealish's goal for England. Nice to see Jack play. Prefer to see him play in the middle of the park rather than wide. As I've alluded to, Malik Wilks, fantastic pace, cut inside and stuck a left-footed drill shot past the goalkeeper. But Trent Alexander-Arnold's free kick,
unbelievable goal.
And also, I mean, 500
the thing about that is, Jack turns around and says to him, "I'll give you £500 if you score." So,
But Jack said to you, didn't he? If you score a goal with your head, I'm going to give you some. What is it, 50 quid?
£100.
Was it £100?
Yeah, which was a lot of money back then.
Weren't it just? Yeah, I mean, that was
I mean, all the players in our team weren't earning that money.
Yeah. How many goals did you get with your head that Jack paid you £100 to? Can you remember? Approximately.
Only one with the bet. I scored in the Boxing Day massacre with my head.
Yeah.
Practically open goal, like.
Yeah.
Jeff King put it over and it was just a matter of me connecting my head with it.
And normally then players will go towards their supporters and celebrate, but Terry Curran is no normal player. Went straight into the lep-ins, on your hands and knees, and went into the Sheffield United fan and earned yourself another few quid.
I'm not sorry to say, but I did, yes.
So you must have come out of the Boxing Day massacre with a right few quid, TC. Fabulous.
Well, I did get pelted with coins, and on Monday I did an interview for Sky.
Yeah.
Which will be on around about the 10th, I think. The week commencing the derby game at Bramall Lane in November.
Okay, good.
So that's on between half 11 and half 12 on obviously on the, is it Sunday the game?
They've moved it back, haven't they, to Remembrance Sunday? And I noticed on the group there was one or two that was commenting on that. So look out for Terry Curran's interview on Sky. We will be doing, you and I, a Boxing Day Massacre special when we're going to be looking back on that wonderful game as well. We're going to get some T-shirts, Terry Curran with Boxing Day Massacre, so we'll get that sorted out. But let's talk about the man of the moment. Thomas Tuchel. I noted that you'd put up on the group you thought it was a good signing. I echo your sentiment. I think it'll be a great signing for England.
Well, I think it'd be a fantastic signing.
Yep.
You know, you listen to the continental managers compared to our coaches.
Yeah.
I mean, what our coaches will come out with statements like, you know, he's a box-to-box player. He works hard. He's physically strong. You know, and all that type of. I mean, that's gone on for years. But how we spoke about certain players in our game compared to the European and world coaches, I think it's going to be a fantastic appointment for us. Now, would I soon have an English coach? Of course I would. But end of the day, you've got to give the job to the best manager capable of doing the job.
Yep.
I mean, look, I'm one of them with Gareth Southgate, lovely man.
Yep.
Right? Should he have got the job? No. He's had the best players that any manager's had for 2 or 8 years. Is it 8 years he's been there now?
I think was it 6 or 8 years
Well,
that
6,
Gareth was there, but it was there
6
long
years,
enough. Yeah,
right?
Too long in my opinion.
And you know, we've got to 2 finals.
Yeah.
Right? Whether we've played bad teams or we've had results go our way, whatever. We've got to 2 finals and didn't win them with a great bunch of lads, of players. Yet, we could never win a tournament. And we can look at it all ways we want. The philosophy did not suit the players.
Yeah.
So for me, I think Tuchel will bring that extra flair to our coaching, to our players, and they'll express themselves in a lot more flamboyant way for me.
Now, let's just stay with Gareth Southgate at the moment. And you're right, we got to semi-final, 2 finals, didn't win either or any. When he come up against a team that there was a little bit of jeopardy on it, and it was a crunch match, if you like, we failed, he failed. I don't think that he was good enough in those moments to get the win. He always seemed to grasp a defeat out of the jaws of victory, which isn't a good trait in a manager. Thomas Tuchel appears to be the polar opposite. But, you know, in terms of Gareth, and I've heard this an awful lot, Tuchel needs to win, or a manager needs to win, because Gareth got us so close. Now, for me, it wasn't about the failure, TC. It was about the way.
That is our problem. We listen to people.
Yeah.
What's, you know, I've never really ever done it. Right? And whatever way you look at it, if we'd have had half a decent of elite manager, we'd have won a tournament with the players we've had, or Southgate's had.
Again, I agree. But for me,
that has been the problem. He's never had a philosophy to suit the players we have.
Correct.
And nobody will convince me that we are not good enough.
No, nobody. Again, same
and I don't
here.
give a damn whether it's a German, an African, or American.
I don't care if it's an alien. I don't care.
If we get a coach like Tuchel, what's won a Champions League title and a Champions League, right? That should give us that little bit of extra confidence to go and achieve that. Now, you're going to turn around and say, well, why didn't Man United do that when they assigned Mourinho? Different types of ways of playing, like Southgate. Southgate wanted to play with 2 holding midfield players. I mean, when you look at Phillips, how he seemed to have gone backwards. Southgate's making a statement saying we haven't replaced Calvin Phillips.
Yeah.
Now, what type of a manager comes out with statements like that?
Stupid one.
Well, I don't want to look at it as being stupid, but he's not good enough.
No, I agree. I think that was the most daftest thing that come out of his mouth, and I think that a lot of daft things come out of Southgate's mouth. But again, I go back. It wasn't the fact for me that England lost in those important games. It's the way that England played in those important games and how England played during his tenure. I was bored shitless watching England. I would rather us get to a final and get beat 3-4, but play really well, be excited, and look forward to watching England play again.
Look at this Yamal, what plays for Spain.
Yeah.
Looks an unbelievable player, and
Yeah.
they throw him in at 17.
Absolutely.
Just under 17.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we've got Phillips. Not Phillips.
Bellingham.
Palmer.
Carl Palmer, yeah.
Carl Palmer. We've got him. And at times he's looked really good.
Mm.
And other times it looks as though there's no confidence in the manager believing in what he's going to do.
Yeah.
And we, or Southgate, couldn't believe him to play him because he hasn't got the experience.
Yeah.
What chance have you got with your players if your manager doesn't believe in it? And all players, whoever they are, want that manager to believe in it. You know, and like I said, we have players. And I won't take anything what other people try to tell me that Southgate's done well. He had the best English players we've had for years.
Yeah.
Right? And he hasn't won a tournament. And we go 1-0 up in a final against a very, very, very poor Italian team.
Mm. And a home tournament as well. So it's the only home tournament that England have ever lost. We played Ukraine. We played Ukraine away. Sorry, yes, beg your pardon. Yes, Euro '96. I was forgetting that temporarily.
But at least it was a good attacking team
and exciting.
And it got beat, but at least you look at it and think, well, hang on a bit, we lost because of unluckiness.
Yeah,
nothing else.
Penalties. Yeah, absolutely. In fact, the only thing that Gareth Southgate has brought home from a tournament has been a cat. I don't know what's happened to the cat these days. It might be at St George's Park. It's about the only use for St George's Park. Turn it into a cattery because it hasn't produced the managers and the coaches that all those millions of pounds have gone in to produce. So St George's Park, has it been an unmitigating failure?
Well, again, when you look at St George's Park, there's loads of foreign coaches come here, get the badges, and go on to be successful. Throughout Europe, right? Because what they say is a stronger badge. You get you get your coaching badge in England. It's well respected. Yet we don't. Our coaches throughout Europe or in the big leagues in Europe have never ever succeeded. The only one what I would say has done okay was Hodgson. Right? The majority of his time were in Sweden. That's where he built his reputation up.
Hodgson was in Switzerland, wasn't he? And then
Sweden.
Oh, was he? Oh, okay, yeah.
And he managed the Sweden national.
Okay.
Yeah, and then he went to Italy, into Milan, and did okay out there.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say, and what I wrote about today is, we do not think outside the box. Think outside the box.
Mm-hmm.
We coach a certain way.
Yep.
And then when we go into management, we go by the rules or by what we're being coached. Players, you've got to have players on that football field what can defend with the when they haven't got the ball, right? Try and get it back when we haven't got the ball, and then we've got to exploit the opposition with powerful. When I say powerful, quick-tempoed football, what can catch the opposition out? Whether it's with a pass, what can put 2, 3, 4 players out of the, or someone like a Messi or a Maradona or a Yamal, all these type of players, what we've seen over the years, what produce that bit of magic, Ronaldo, to disrupt the opposition. And we've never, ever allowed our beautiful players to express themselves on a football field.
Absolutely.
Right? So going back to the coaching side of it, what you were saying there at St George's, it costs a fortune to put it together. It costs a fortune for you to take your badges, right? And you cannot tell me, when you look at it, we have produced any elite coaches.
No, and that's been the problem that England have had recently, and the reason why we now have a German in charge of the national team, because we haven't produced the coaches, and we've had millions and millions of pounds put into the pathway that the FA keep talking about, but it hasn't produced them. Now, there's been a number of. I've been listening to radio today and been looking at social media, and it has made me laugh quite loudly, if I'm honest, about the fact that how can we have a German at the head of our English football team? I'm
Well,
thinking,
he's the best coach available, better than any English
absolutely,
coach,
absolutely,
better than now,
yeah, absolutely, 100%,
right?
100%. So
You know, because he's a German,
yeah,
we're not allowed to have him.
no,
Why?
but do they realise?
But why?
But we've got a German who's ruling the country. Our crown, our crown is run. Sitting on the throne is the House of Hanover. They were Saxo. Well, I can't remember the name of it. Grogo, or so, I don't know. I can't remember. I'm not
You
really
know what people are going to turn around and say, aren't you?
into.
Why are we talking about that when we should be talking about football?
Well, we are
But
talking about
you're
football.
right what you're saying.
But
What I'm saying
yeah,
is, in today's day and age of football,
yeah.
why shouldn't a German manage an England team?
100%. You have the
Now,
best in class.
we wouldn't be having a German if we got an elite English coach. Now,
Exactly.
I can't talk about a British coach
Yeah.
because it's England
Of
we're
course it is.
looking at as such.
Yeah.
Now, we used to produce a lot of top class Scottish managers.
Mhm.
Where have all they gone? And you know as well as I do,
Yeah. Same as
there's no
Scottish
way we'd
footballers.
having a Welshman, a Scotsman, or an Irishman. They wouldn't take it.
Maybe not.
They wouldn't take it. You've only got to look at
Maybe
Lee
not.
Carsley, who's an
Yeah.
Englishman,
Mm.
and does not want to sing the national anthem.
But again, that was levelled. It's like Thomas Tuchel is not going to sing the national anthem. I personally,
What a question
couldn't.
to ask him.
I know. I could
What a
not
question to
care.
ask.
I couldn't care at all whether they sing the anthem, whether they don't. It does not bother me. I
I'd
want
like
to
to
see.
see the players sing it. I would, you know,
Do you know Cole
not
Palmer
because
never?
they're forced to sing it, being
Yeah.
forced to sing it.
But
I'd
there are.
like him to sing it, but like all these other
Yeah.
European teams and world teams,
The Spanish
because
don't.
they have the pride of playing for the country, don't they?
Yeah, but the Spanish don't, because there are no words to the Spanish national anthem.
Well, you know as well as I
yeah.
do, they don't sing that as big. Half of that's to do with the.
But it's Franco. They changed it, didn't they?
Was it
and
the
as a result,
Barcelona? What do they call that part of Barcelona?
well, I mean, Catalonia.
Catalonia.
But yeah, the Spanish.
Guardiola won't manage Spain because it's part of Catalonia.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's
Yeah, it's Catalonia.
weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and we don't understand that. But I do go back that when they're annoyed that there's a German manager managing England, just let's look at it in the cold light of
You
day.
know,
The monarchy is the House of Hanover. They changed their German name in 1917 to Windsor to be more anglicised. So perhaps
yes,
Thomas Tuchel
I
should
go along with
change
that.
it to Tommy Ball.
But I will guarantee you, if he's successful, and I believe he's going to be successful,
100%.
he will turn everybody on his side.
Absolutely.
Because the
100%.
game's about winning.
Yeah, I don't care. Again, I go back. I do not care. I'm quite elated. Well, I don't know. Well, elated's the right word, but I'm pleased that. I mean, I like Lee Carsley. Don't get me wrong, and I think that he done a decent job. He changed things around. He got balls to change things around. I looked at the lineup and I thought far better than anything I've seen from Southgate. So I was quite happy with Lee. And now hopefully he'll go back to the 21s and carry on the magnificent job that he's done there. But
Listen,
like with Tuchel,
he didn't do
I'm
himself
happy.
any favours
No,
by
he
saying
didn't.
he's not going to sing the anthem. He
No.
should have done what Tuchel did. I've got until March, or
I've got till March.
I'm not
but
the
I
manager
won't.
at the moment in time.
Yeah,
I've got other things to concentrate on.
Yeah. But
that's what he should have done. I thought Tuchel's interview today was refreshing.
Yeah, I thought it was.
I thought it was refreshing. I thought he came across absolutely magnificent. I said to Tom, listen to his talk compared to an English coach.
But he's a decorated football manager stroke coach. He's been there. He's wore the T-shirt. He knows what it takes to win major tournaments, and to stand in front of these clowns in our British media that are going to send him some curveballs. But he knew, because it would have been briefed. They'd have said, Tom, before you start, they're going to ask you about the national anthem, so just bat it back to him. And
You
he would have
watch this
been
team
briefed.
under him be different altogether.
100%.
Different altogether.
100%, because he's
And
done it.
I don't give a damn what anybody says.
Mm.
He's the best out there, barring Guardiola.
Pep. Yeah. And Jurgen Klinsmann.
Well,
Jurgen Klopp.
no, not Klinsmann. Klopp's got a job.
Yeah, he has, yeah. Yeah. And so
Klopp's
was
got a
Pep.
job. He's the best out there.
Yeah. I mean, he was asked, that Bullingham or whatever his name is, the head of the FA, how many managers, coaches that they'd interviewed.
Said 10.
10, yeah. And then he said about 10, didn't he? So you could, at an educated guess.
I'll guarantee you, whatever he told us there, would be like us. They would have had Tuchel, knowing he was going to be a manager, and said, we've interviewed other managers and he's the best out there.
Yeah, I would have an educated guess that they have asked Pep, and I think they probably asked Klopp as well, and got turned down by both.
Well, no, I don't think they have.
Do you not?
No. I would imagine Klopp stated he wants to manage Germany, doesn't he?
He has, yeah.
I think the thing is with Pep, he's got this season to do.
Yeah, he has.
Right? Do they keep Carsley while end of the season? He's only got an 18-month contract.
Yeah.
So in that 18 months, he's got to win something. Right? Or he's got to look as though, we don't have to look as though, his team's got to look as though we look capable now of winning a tournament.
Yeah.
Because if they don't win anything and it doesn't succeed under Tuchel, then I think Guardiola will be the next England manager. But if Tuchel wins a tournament and produces the football what I hope he's going to produce, then he could be there for the next 8 years.
There'll be another German sitting on the throne. But again, with the fallout with Lee Carsley and the questions that were levelled at Lee Carsley, it wasn't a knee-jerk reaction to get rid of Carsley after we got beaten by Greece, because Tuchel had already agreed to take the England job. So it was nothing to do whether Lee won or lost, whether he succeeded or failed. They'd already got in place Thomas Tuchel before that Greece game.
Well, why did they interview 10 people then?
What's that? No, they did. Yeah, but he didn't say.
You've already got him in place.
Yeah, he didn't say.
And they've interviewed 10 people.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, or they've approached. I think he said they'd approached, didn't they? 10 people.
I don't
regarding the job.
When they tell Clough he got the job when they knew they were giving the job to Ron Greenwood.
Yeah.
And I know that's a fact. I know that's a fact. So I don't believe anything what they tell you about football. I really don't. I've been with a lot of top managers.
Yeah.
And I've known things about certain things what's been happening in football. I used to think to myself, I can't believe this.
Yeah.
But then they say something totally opposite when they're on television.
Yeah. 100%. But if let's just look at the St. George and the pathway for the coaches to go in there, get the badges, etc., etc. If you were a young coach now that just got badged up from St. George's Park, where would you be pitching yourself to go and coach?
Why are you asking me for it? I've not been in coaching. Well, I have been in coaching.
No, I know. I'm just on about.
But I know where you're coming from. What I'm trying to say is,
if I'm a young manager
Gabby,
today,
I think outside the box.
Yeah.
Right? And loads of people used to say to me, "Go and get your badges."
Yeah.
Say yes or no, so 3 bags full. Get your badges.
Yeah.
Go and get a club.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm.
I finished up getting my badges, my UEFA B badge, and that's all you needed back when I was playing.
Yeah.
I finished up getting it.
Mm-hmm.
But getting a club then in the Football League were always difficult. I spoke to Martin O'Neill about this when I was managing Gould and Martin managed Grantham and Shepshed Charterhouse, and he said he'd applied for about 500 jobs, or sent 500 applications out.
Mm.
You know, and you're going to say, well, there's only 92 clubs. Well, there's more than 92 clubs in world, isn't there?
Absolutely, 100%, 100%. But again, where I'm coming from is, when the English managers, and I've heard this, there's not the opportunity.
Yeah, but I've answered this question.
No, I know you have.
Got a new foundation, right? Which should help the coaches.
Yeah.
Right, we should help the coaches. Mm. They're going there, and they're coming out of there, and they're coaching all the same way.
Yeah, of course they are.
They all coach the same way.
Absolutely.
There's a kid, Beale, we're at Queen's Park Rangers. After 12 games, Thomas, listen to everybody on television. This is going to be a raincoat. I said, Thomas,
I couldn't stand the bloke.
He's been there 2 minutes, and I guarantee you, he'll not be nowhere near what these are all telling me. Got offered the Wolves job.
Turned it down,
Right, turned it down. He gets the Rangers job, makes a complete mess of it.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Now, I don't mean this to be nasty to anybody.
Again, neither do I.
I do not mean this to... You fans have not been in dressing room.
Correct.
And you don't know what's said in that dressing room.
Correct.
99% of players want to play, so the practically play how the manager wants you to play.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Secondly, can you imagine somebody like Foden and Beale being his manager, what's never played the game as such?
Yeah.
And trying to teach him how to play football.
It's ridiculous.
I know it's not right, you know, but you have to win. Managers like that have to win things.
Of course they do.
Quickly.
Absolutely.
And then players will listen to you.
Again, I'm not sure what Tuchel has won as a player, but he's won things as a manager.
That's it.
So
I just said to you, Mourinho did, but he won as a manager.
100%, we're on the same page.
And you've got to go into that dressing room and tell those players they're the best thing since sliced bread.
What did Cloughy used to say to you? Like, put your medals on the table.
They came in at quarter-3. They come in at quarter-3 and never spoke about the opposition.
Yeah.
You've got 20-odd internationals, whatever they get, 25 international players, all capable of scoring from a free kick.
Yeah.
All capable with a good touch. Get a philosophy, make them understand how to win the ball back and how to defend when we haven't got the ball.
Yeah.
Right? How to get overloads in when we have the ball. And how to play with a counter-attack tempo.
Yep.
Now, that's all you need to do. And that, when you say to me, well, it's not as easy, it is when you've got good players.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's very difficult when you've got average players. But it's easy. You know, everybody says, oh, Guardiola, I could do it. No, you can't do his job. Man United spent millions of pounds.
Yep.
Right?
Billions.
And not won anything. Well, they have won two FA Cups, but they've looked disjointed.
Yeah,
since Ferguson left.
Since Fergie left, they've spent billions of pounds, brought in hundreds of players, and are far worse now than the day that Ferguson walked out the door. Far worse.
Chelsea, since Mourinho and Tuchel left, well, since Mourinho, they've been messing around for I don't know to how long. Fetch Conte in 2 minutes, they got rid of him.
Yep.
Right? They've spent millions of pounds.
Correct.
And what have they won?
Nothing.
Right? Now they look a different team under this new manager.
100%. Yep. 100%. And I think this year they could.
What I'm trying to say to you is about the St George's Park. He's got everything right.
Yeah.
You have to, once you get your coaching badge, and surely they should say to them, now go and express yourself in your own way.
Yeah. When
you're coaching.
If I was the FA, or I was advising a young coach that wants to get into management, I would be saying, if you look at the Premier League, the chances of you getting a Premier League job are pretty much nil. But if you look at the Premier League and the managers that are in the Premier League, and a lot of them are younger managers, they're foreign national managers. So what I'd do, I'd be saying to my coaches, if I was managing a number of coaches that have got the badges, right, go out to, like, in France or in Portugal, get a club, win something, and then come back. A little bit like Graham Potter done
I still think
when he
that's
went to
difficult for
Sweden.
them to get a job abroad.
It may
It,
well
it
be.
is.
It may well
What
be.
they have to
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
is get a job wherever it is,
Yeah.
and show that they can win a football match.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not play negative.
And to listen to the rest of this podcast, head on over to www.patreon.com/SRB Media. Thank you.